About 2 years ago, my wife Nicole and I bought this house. It's a tiny little cabin that we're trying to renovate into a homestead and a tiny home. And living in a tiny house isn't as easy as you would think. It takes a lot of work to do a renovation, even on a simple little room like our living room. Oh, I did it so bad. But we get by. I mean, I enjoy it. So join us as we work on our front room, try to make it something that's a little more cozy and a little more livable. Too big? It's too big. I had wanted to wait until I was ready to make this video. That everything was painted, that everything was cleaned up, and that everything looked good and was prepped. And I'm starting to realize that in adulthood there really is no ready for just about anything. So this is new. I bought a house. It's wild to look back and to see how things have changed. Things we've added, things we've taken away, and overall the feel of our tiny house. I suppose it's not your traditional tiny house, more a cabin, but given the square footage, it's tiny. One of our first projects that we've tackled in our tiny house was our front room. It needed a pop of color and a little help.
When you get into a project with Ben, you have to know going in that he has ADHD.
Poor Nicole. I sometimes feel bad trying to execute any project. I mean, as most guys, I've worked construction, I've worked in shops, I've worked as an apprentice, I've done a lot of things, so I have a lot of proverbial tools in my tool belt. But when it comes to straightforward thinking, that is something that I'm absolutely horrible at.
So he'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna mop the floor. In order to mop the floor, he first, for some reason, needs to put siding on the chicken coop. So you never know what you're getting into when you get into a project with Ben, but most of the time the project is almost finished, almost completed. I mean, him and I have a hard time completing anything. We get to the final stages and we decide that that's good enough. It's never perfect because we're both like, well, I'm done. So
personally, I kind of love the tiny house vibe. I mean, we're doing a lot to expand this place and make it bigger and workable with more people. But I lived in a camper. I mean, I realistically lived in the back of a truck bed for 6 months. So I'm no stranger to living tiny. But now what I've discovered, both as a dad, as a husband, having a family, I want to escape from everybody. A lot of crying, very little painting going on today. You just never get alone time. You hardly get time to shower. You hardly get time to the 3 S's: shit, shower, and shave in the morning, because there's too much to do. You gotta feed everybody, you gotta take care of everybody, and most importantly, you gotta make coffee somewhere in there.
in a tiny space, and when you have any children, especially young children, is super hard because I can't escape. Anywhere I go in the house, he is there. And I mean, even in the bathroom, he's there with you. So there's no escaping from really any of your family members when you live in a tiny home. For the front room, I really wanted just a really cozy sort of vibe. So I had the envision of putting a library up. so we could read books or have a spot to chill at night, especially after the toddler's in bed. It's really turned into our family room. It was a shame before because we weren't really utilizing that room, and that room is full of windows all over it. So you have the perfect view of the river, and I wanted to be able to grab my cup of coffee in the morning and be able to sit and look out the window at the water. And how we had it before just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense as a room. Really, we had lost our room at that point because we weren't using it for anything but just random things.
Oh, I did it so bad. Living in the tiny house has been an incredible experience, and I guess it's not necessarily a tiny house, it's more of an old cabin that's been converted into our home, and it's got a beautiful view, and we've got family next door and close by, and that living room has always kind of been a pass-through. It's almost just a hallway from main area to the bathroom, and we've tried having it as a living room, and it just hasn't always worked. So we're trying to make it into something that can work and can be beautiful, and with that, I leave creative control in Nicole's hands.
I like adding accent colors because I know the whole trend is to put all white everything or one color everything, but that makes me sad. So I like a little pop of color, and so yeah, we made it a navy blue sort of color. It's almost charcoal, but it's on the blue side.
She is the one with the vision for a lot of it. I think I have a little bit, but I let her run with it, especially when it comes to colors, because one, I don't care, and two, it's not my place to... I live here for the most part, in the basement, in my shed with my tools. As long as it's functional, I can live just about anywhere. I lived in college on 2 couch cushions for the better part of a year. That's the only thing that was in my room. 2 couch cushions. I didn't even have a pillow. So to have an actual place to lay my head, to have a space where we can do things in, that's definitely a step up from 2 couch cushions.
I look down the road, far my eye could see. I look down the road, far my eye could see.
Nice. Let's stick this up there just for now to get it out of the way.
Excuse me. With the front room finished, our tiny house is starting to feel a little more cozy and a bit more like a home. Still, the lack for space is a minor inconvenience, but we still have plenty of plans for more upgrades and accents, like our little kitchen remodel that we need to do. One there, and then this should drop. So I'm gonna hold it. Okay, it's not that bad. I'm just trying to think of if I have to buy another